Nike hates resellers. This is a fact, bro. You need to do your homework. Look, I'm going to provide you with all the evidence as why Nike hates resellers. Well, they love them. It's a complicated, toxic relationship. Krishan, Blueface, y'all can take a break for a minor moment because we're going to talk about the complicated web that is a relationship between Nike and its resellers. Because at this present moment, Nike is trying to do whatever they can to crack down on the reselling because guess what? They realize that a lot of consumers have went to other places to get their sneakers, people. They have decided that, you know what, this little game that we keep playing with y'all just isn't worth the time nor the energy. So guess what? People have decided they're going to do different things. And Nike has realized that, hey, this is affecting my pockets, my wallets, because the bread ain't bread and the cheese won't cheese. And that's going to keep people down on their knees. Let's go ahead and get into the video. So I know what you're asking. How does reselling affect Nike? Now, there are positives and negatives to sneaker reselling. Look, the negatives are simply this. Scalping stops people from wanting to buy sneakers. Scalping is the act of buying up all the sneakers that Nike could possibly sell and forcing people to pay triple the amount that they normally would simply because you have exclusive access to the sneaker. Is this fair? No. It is a terrible practice. It is bad for the whole sneaker community because it makes people give up on playing the little game called Sneakers app. When people decide they're not going to continuously support these companies, these practices, companies don't make as much money because they start to realize like, hey, you know what? Every time I go on the Sneakers app, I'm guaranteed to take an L. I can't purchase the sneakers for a retail price. The resale is too expensive, so I'm just going to stop buying sneakers. I'm going to go to other brands. I'm going to start wearing used sneakers. Or hey, people just start wearing reps. Everybody has the right to do whatever they want with their money at the end of the day. What you have to understand is this, and it's a simple thing. Scalping is bad for the brands, and here's why. When people scalp up all the sneakers, that gives Nike a green flag saying, hey, at this price point, I could keep selling this sneaker over and over again. But when the sneakers eventually sit, when the resellers buy them, it brings the resale price below retail and people just realize, hey, you know what? I can choose the game. I just won't go on the sneakers app. I'll let all the resellers eat up the sneakers and then I can get an exclusive discount on their failures. This is very bad for Nike because this is going to force them to decrease the retail price of the sneaker. And then eventually people aren't going to be purchasing sneakers as much as they used to in the past when they're able to get sneakers directly from Nike. This is simple economics, supply and demand. If you decrease the demand, the requested supply will also go down. And that's why the resellers have caused Nike to lose money. They're realizing that their competition is growing every single day. Reps are almost 1-for-1 nowadays. It's very hard to distinguish a rep by just looking at it. On top of that, the used sneaker market is taking off. Those sneakers have a cap of how much they're going to resell for. And people have realized, hey, if I go on eBay, I can negotiate the price of the sneaker. I can get a little bit of a discount because they're used. Hell, I can even trade sneakers on different apps and trade my old sneakers for new sneakers that I want. At the end of the day, when people are going to third-party markets to get their sneakers, Nike isn't getting that much of a cut from the check, and they're going BROKE. But in that same token, reselling is also good for Nike too. When reselling is in the green, when resellers are winning in this economy, it's actually good for Nike because it keeps the value of their sneakers high because the sneakers are reselling. People think they have a chance to resell sneakers, so they go after the retail pairs too. It's good for Nike, but there has to be a fine threshold. You have to understand. This is what you must discover as Nike. You must figure out how many pairs can I release on the market to where there are no pairs sitting. Because if you release too many pairs, they're eventually going to sit in stores. They're going to go on clearance. There's going to be a huge, big discount sign next to them. But if you don't release enough pairs, people are going to feel like they don't have a chance to get anything for retail and are not going to want to keep going back and playing this little game with you over and over again like they've done in the past. So what is Nike doing to combat the resellers? They're doing quite a bit. First thing they're doing is they're implementing anti-bot protection practices. Yes, they're going directly after the bots on Sneakers app. They're teaming up with cybersecurity companies to figure out how can we stop these bots from making multiple accounts and eating up all the sneakers like the scalpers do. Now, is this perfect? No. Has it been working as great as you think it has been? No. But at least Nike is trying to do something to stop all these resellers from eating up everything that they can have on the plate. The sneaker game is like a casino, but if you bring Rain Man to that casino, he's counting cards, he's counting the chips. Is it fair to everybody? Because there's only going to be one winner at the end of the day, and that's the person with the biggest computer and the biggest wallet, and that's not fair to everybody who just simply loves kicks. The bots are probably the scalpers' #1 way to get sneakers. So if you cut that leg off of the horse, you have a 3-legged horse that can't walk anywhere. It's just eating dirt. On top of this, they've also started to release more and more sneakers. When they release more sneakers, that gives people a fair chance to get the sneakers. Have you noticed that Nike is starting to do more shot drops for highly anticipated sneakers? Take the bread Red 4 Reimagine, take the Military Blue 4. They have had so many releases before the actual release date, because what they're trying to do is they're trying to give the people who truly want the sneaker a chance to get that bad boy for retail. When you release more sneakers, that decreases the demand and also decreases the resale demand of those sneakers, therefore bringing down the retail price of those sneakers. Now, they don't want to release too many, like I said earlier, because you've seen it. A lot of these sneakers have been sitting in some outlets and some Foot Lockers. That's not good for Nike. When the consumer is happy, they feel like they have a chance in the game, and a lot of people are starting to give sneakers out one more chance. Oh, and on top of that, they sued StockX. Yes, they sued StockX for not properly authenticating sneakers. One of the big things, and I think this is why rep sneakers have taken a huge skyrocket lately, is the fact that rep sneakers have become so popular because the authenticators have been consistently getting things wrong. Imagine if you spent $30 to get something authenticated, you believing your whole life that's the real thing, then come to find out that bad boy is fake, bro. Imagine living for 18 years and then figuring out your dad's not your real dad, bro. That would mess you up in a lot of ways, wouldn't it? That's what happens with a lot of sneakerheads, bro. They figure out the sneakers that they've been collecting their whole lives have been fake. Their whole life is a lie. They're forced to swallow the red pill and go download the DHgate app and go ahead and get their own sneakers. This is the sad reality that we live in. It's the truth. When Nike takes a stance against things like this, it allows people to feel like, hey, my voice is heard. It allows people to feel like a little bit more indignified. Now, StockX is still around and they're still selling sneakers, but at least Nike's trying to do something to protect the brand. And on top of that, they're going after reps. You know, they sued a lot of people who were promoting reps and telling people how to get reps and creating spreadsheets and websites. They went after Panda Buy. They're trying to shut that down. Now, I'm not saying reps are bad, but to a company like Nike, reps are a very direct competitor to what they're trying to do. Do I believe they're going to be able to get rid of all the reps? Probably not. But by taking a stance and going after the biggest targets in the game, that's going to help their company survive a little bit more, because they have to understand, besides resellers, the third-party markets that exist are their biggest competitors. That's also why Nike has released their own sneaker refurbishing website. They've begun to sell their own used sneakers, clean them up, fix them up, and give them that Nike approval. And that is very important because eBay takes off for a lot of reasons. Why? Their ability to sell used sneakers, like I was saying earlier. There's so many benefits to a consumer to buy used sneakers. Used sneakers are probably the best sneakers to get, in my honest. A lot of people think, oh my God, it has somebody else's foot inside of it. That's nasty. But do you go out and buy new cars? You know what they say about a new car? The minute you drive it off the lot, it loses 25% of their value. And that's what happens when you walk around with your new off-white sneakers. The minute you take 10 steps in them, they become used. The price goes down immediately. Is Nike creating a perfect world for the sneaker consumer? Absolutely not. Honestly, at the end of the day, the game is still broken in a lot of ways. But I do believe Nike is trying to push the ball forward and stopping the resale from being so dominant in the sneaker culture as it exists. Now, I did do a poll on my channel a couple of weeks ago asking people what they thought about the sneakers app, and a lot of people still feel like the app is unfair. There's so many L's taken over and over again. People still feel like it's very hard to get a sneaker, and I do think Nike needs to do something to address that app and fix that app, and maybe do something to make it so people feel like it's more equitable instead of it being like a gamble, a competition. But that's a separate video for another day. But my point is the fact that things aren't perfect yet, but I think we're getting somewhat closer to that finish line. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Do you think Nike is actually trying to do something to stop the resellers? Do you think sneaker resale is bad for the game? Or do you feel like, hey, it's just part of the practice, you gotta stop whining and just get over it? I don't know, but I'll catch you next time. Peace.